a deep dive into the darker aspects of leadership and conflict? Brace yourself for a critical comparison that sheds light on the destructive tendencies of two powerful figures. I am your host, Mitsuri, and in today's video, we'll explore the striking parallels between Kaido from One Piece and Benjamin Netanyahu. Both figures are known for their aggressive tactics and a penchant for war, with Kaido waging battles across the seas and Netanyahu's controversial actions impacting Palestine. Strap in, because this is gonna be an intense one. Join me as we delve into how Kaido's brutal reign and warmongering strategies mirror Netanyahu's controversial policies and military actions in Palestine. We'll examine how their leadership styles have sparked conflict and suffering, drawing a compelling comparison between the fictional world of One Piece and real-world geopolitics. Whether you're a fan of anime or deeply interested in global affairs, this discussion will provide a thought-provoking look at the consequences of power and warfare. Get ready for a critical and revealing exploration. Relentless aggression. Benjamin Netanyahu, the former Prime Minister of Israel, is known for his aggressive stance towards Palestine, often favoring military solutions over diplomacy. This mirrors Kaido from One Piece, who is infamous for his brutal and warlike nature. Kaido, one of the four emperors, rules over Wano with an iron fist, constantly seeking out battles to prove his strength and expand his power. Netanyahu's aggressive policies have led to numerous conflicts in Gaza, resulting in significant loss of life and destruction. Similarly, Kaido's desire for war has led to countless battles and suffering in Wano, as seen in the clashes with Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates. Both figures seem to thrive on conflict, showing little regard for the consequences their actions have on innocent lives. Number 9. Oppression and control. Netanyahu's policies have often been criticized for oppressing Palestinians and maintaining control through military force. This is akin to Kaido's tyrannical rule over Wano, where he enforces his will through sheer power and fear. Kaido's oppressive regime crushes any dissent, just as Netanyahu's policies have led to the suppression of Palestinian rights and freedoms. The construction of settlements in the West Bank and the frequent military operations in Gaza are clear examples of Netanyahu's oppressive tactics. Kaido's use of the smile fruits to create a subservient army further illustrates his desire to maintain absolute control over his territory. Both leaders prioritize power and dominance over justice and humanity, creating environments of fear and oppression. Number 8. Disregard for human life. Netanyahu's tenure has seen numerous instances where Palestinian lives were lost due to military actions and blockades. Kaido similarly shows a blatant disregard for human life, treating his subordinates and enemies alike as expendable. In One Piece, Kaido's cruel treatment of the people of Wano and his own crew members highlights his ruthless nature. During the 2014 Gaza War, Netanyahu's actions resulted in the deaths of over 2,000 Palestinians, many of them civilians. Kaido's attack on the Odin Castle, leading to the death and suffering of countless Wano citizens, showcases his merciless approach. Both leaders demonstrate a shocking indifference to the value of human life in their relentless pursuit of power. Number 7. Expansionist ambitions. Netanyahu has long been accused of harboring expansionist ambitions, particularly with his support for Israeli settlements in occupied territories. Kaido's goal to start the greatest war the world has ever seen in One Piece reflects a similar desire for expansion and domination. Kaido's vision of creating chaos and his pursuit of the ancient weapons to achieve this end is eerily reminiscent of Netanyahu's expansionist policies. The continuous growth of Israeli settlements in the West Bank under Netanyahu's leadership has been a source of international tension and conflict. Kaido's efforts to acquire powerful allies and weapons to fuel his war efforts parallel these expansionist tendencies. Both leaders seek to extend their influence and control, often at the expense of peace and stability. Number 6. Propaganda and manipulation. Netanyahu has been known to use propaganda and manipulation to sway public opinion and maintain his political power. Kaido too uses fear and misinformation to control the people of Wano and keep them subjugated. In One Piece, Kaido's alliance with Orochi and their manipulation of the truth keeps the populace in a state of fear and submission. Netanyahu's use of media to portray Palestinians as perpetual aggressors has been a key tactic in garnering support for his policies. Similarly, Kaido's propaganda about the Kazuki clan and the true history of Wano keeps the citizens misinformed and compliant. Both figures rely on deceit and manipulation to uphold their regimes, further cementing their authoritarian rule. Number 5. For Netanyahu, maintaining personal power often seems to take precedence over the well-being of the region, much like Kaido's obsession with strength and dominance. Kaido's quest to become the strongest and create a new world order leads him to make alliances and decisions that cause widespread suffering. Netanyahu's political maneuvers, such as forming coalitions with radical groups, similarly prioritize his power over peace and progress. Kaido's willingness to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve his goals is evident in his ruthless actions, such as when he brutally defeats Luffy and attempts to break his spirit. Netanyahu's pursuit of power has often led to hardline policies that escalate conflicts rather than resolve them. Reasons like this is why Kanye had some choice words to say about him that one time.
To listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the Twilight Zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
So you don't like Benjamin Netanyahu?
I just heard about this guy 2 weeks ago since like the tweet, and I thought he had a funny name. I heard he's like really into like, he's like a super killer. I could die for saying this. So in case this the last time you ever hear from me.
Well, look. I'm glad.
Number 4. Perpetual conflict. Netanyahu's tenure has been marked by a cycle of perpetual conflict, with repeated escalations of violence between Israel and Palestine. Kaido's presence in Wano brings constant strife and turmoil, with battles raging continuously under his rule. Both figures seem to thrive in environments of conflict, seeing them as opportunities to assert their dominance. The numerous military operations in Gaza and the ongoing tensions in the West Bank during Netanyahu's leadership have kept the region in a state of unrest. Kaido's relentless pursuit of war, as seen in his battle against the ninja pirate Mink Samurai Alliance, keeps Wano in perpetual conflict. This unending cycle of violence under their leaderships highlights their destructive nature. Number 3. Ruthless alliances. Netanyahu has often formed alliances with controversial figures and groups to strengthen his political position, reflecting Kaido's alliances with powerful and dangerous entities in one piece. Kaido's partnership with Big Mom to form the most formidable pirate alliance shows his willingness to collaborate with others to achieve his destructive goals. Netanyahu's alliances with radical political factions and his relationships with hawkish leaders have bolstered his aggressive policies. Kaido's collaboration with Big Mom to secure the ancient weapons for world domination parallels these alliances. Both leaders demonstrate a willingness to align with ruthless partners to expand their power, furthering their authoritarian and warlike agendas. Number 2. Crushing dissent. Netanyahu's administration has been criticized for its harsh treatment of dissent, particularly among Palestinians and critics of his policies. Kaido's reign of terror in Wano is marked by his brutal suppression of any opposition. In One Piece, Kaido's use of the Beast Pirates to enforce his rule and crush any rebellion mirrors Netanyahu's suppression of Palestinian resistance. The crackdowns on protests and the use of force against civilians in Gaza are examples of Netanyahu's approach to dissent. Kaido's violent quelling of the rebellion led by the samurai and the Kazuki clan in Wano highlights his intolerance for any challenge to his authority. Both leaders employ harsh measures to maintain their control, silencing any opposition with brute force. Number 1. Legacy of destruction. Netanyahu's legacy is often viewed through the lens of the destruction and division his policies have caused, much like Kaido's legacy in Wano. Kaido's rule leaves Wano in ruins, its people oppressed and its resources depleted. Netanyahu's tenure has left a trail of conflict and suffering, particularly for Palestinians, mirroring the devastation wrought by Kaido. Under Netanyahu's leadership, the hope for a peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has dimmed, with violence and division becoming the norm. Kaido's rule over Wano is marked by fear, suffering, and resistance from those who yearn for freedom. Both figures leave behind a legacy of turmoil and destruction, highlighting the devastating impact of their warlike and oppressive reigns. As we wrap up this critical exploration of the parallels between Kaido from One Piece and Benjamin Netanyahu, we hope you found this discussion as thought-provoking as it is enlightening. By examining their aggressive tactics and the impact of their actions, we've gained a deeper understanding of the consequences of power and warmongering. It's been an intense journey that highlights the darker side of leadership and conflict, both in fiction and reality. Thank you for joining us on this revealing comparison. We hope this discussion has inspired you to reflect on the importance of peace and the responsibility of leaders to act with compassion and justice. Until next time, stay informed, stay critical, and continue to seek out the stories and insights that challenge your perspective. See ya!